The Camino de Santiago is an ancient pilgrimage route that has been traveled by millions of people for over 1,000 years.
For many, walking the Camino is a life-changing experience, a test of endurance and a chance to connect with something greater than themselves. I'm Sandy.
And I'm Jed. Join us on our epic journey as we attempt to walk over 500 miles across Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, it is such a beautiful morning on the way, leaving Castrojeriz.
We have a little bit of a longer walk today. We're going 26 kilometers to the town of Fromista.
But first, we have this really steep climb that kind of puts us on top of the plateau. Funny enough, we saw a sign going into Condes, which wasn't there during our first Camino, and it says there is no Camino without the plateau. So I think it's kind of funny because a lot of people skip this because, you know, they say it's flat and boring, but we rather liked it last time. But you know, it's a different Camino. Who knows? We might not like it this time. Wow, look at that hill. That's
coming up.
It's coming up. All right, guys, we'll see you at the top.
Up, down. That's where we're going. Because after this big up, there's big down. They say you've got to get up to get down, right?
Whew, okay, so we've made it from all the way down there, and we are going to continue on the way, which is nice and flat this way. There is a little bit of downhill, but you know what? That's okay. I think we need a little bit of downhill in our life right now.
So we were just walking some more, and actually we came to this rest stop and there was this guy sitting here and he is doing stamps in our credentials for donation, but they're really cool because they are wax stamps and he has all kinds of different designs and colors that you can do, and they are really cool.
Yeah, he had a bunch of different choices that you could choose out of this little book, and he would just melt the wax and put it on your credential, take the corresponding stamp, put it on there. Voila, you have a really cool, unique, stamp in your Credential.
It's amazing, and I love that mine even has a little shell hanging from it, so definitely worth the stop if you see this guy out and about.
Okay, so we kind of struck out in that little town. Not much was open. We were gonna go inside the church, but there's this giant tour bus and a lot of people about, so we're just like, you know what? It's 5.6 to Fromista from here, so don't need a Coca-Cola that bad. We're just gonna hoof it to Fromista and bathe in a ice cold Coke there.
So as you leave Boadilla and you're headed into Fromista, the path actually runs parallel to the Canal de Castilla, and we actually spotted something that we don't remember seeing the last time. There's actually a boat you can take along the canal and it'll bring you all the way down. If you want to cheat and skip out on for about 5K, you can totally do that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are leaving the town of Fromista this morning.
We arrived into town yesterday and got checked into our accommodation for the night. We stayed at Hotel San Pedro. Actually, a really nice place. At the same time, today starting out is
It's hard.
It's a hard day here on the Camino.
It was really hard for us to get up and get going this morning. Last night we got word that we lost somebody that we had pretty much walked with even before we started.
So we met in Pamplona when we had to send our luggage off to Santiago. We met a wonderful couple from the US that we then met again several times over the last 3 weeks. We've been able to enjoy drinks with them, dinner, great conversations.
The hike up Orison with them, complained about it together.
The night before last, he passed away in his sleep. And obviously his wife is devastated and our hearts are broken as well. We're broken for her, broken for him.
But we gotta move on. So our thoughts and prayers are gonna be with them today as we walk.
And every day until we finish this thing and beyond. So
let's get going. Good morning, guys. We are leaving Carrion de los Condes this morning. I know we didn't really talk when we got to the city yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a long slog with not much there. We passed through a couple small towns, but of note, we stopped by the little town of
the Alcázar de Sirga, where they have an absolutely beautiful church that's worth stopping. And then we also had lunch there. Happily, we ran into our friend Terry, who we haven't seen in a couple of days, and it was absolutely wonderful because he was actually leaving the Camino yesterday for a few weeks. We probably will not see him again. So, where's the Camino?
Oh yeah, the Camino's this way. Stick with us.
That's what happens when you don't pay attention to where you're going.
Packs are extra heavy this morning because we're carrying extra water. We have about 17 kilometers to go this morning with nothing in between.
17 kilometers of nothingness, and this is probably going to be the hottest day that we've had so far on the Camino. I think it's going to be about 84 degrees.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. But look at this. I got a new sun hat so that I don't get this fishnet burn in the back. I just get a tan line now around the top of my
so
head.
His head will be white and the rest of it will be red from burn.
Long way to go and all day to get there, so let's do the thing. Well, that was a nice little treat. Last time we were out here, we felt super fortunate to run into an ice cream truck and grab an ice cream. We just ran across a food truck called the El Camino food truck.
Totally not here 5 years ago, so they're less than 5 years old, but definitely a welcome find here.
So we've gone, what, over 10 kilometers so far, I think, this morning?
Right at 10.
Right at 10. They had quite the spread. We had a couple pieces of cake. Sandy had a Coke. Looks like, you know, they have tortillas and bacon and all kinds of stuff, croissants.
She was cooking something on the grill and it smelled delicious.
Almost gave in and had a little bit of a second breakfast, but don't want to eat too heavy because it is starting to warm up and I don't want to feel yucky when I walk. We think we only have about 7K left.
Oh, just to the first town.
Just to the first town, but 13 total. I think we're making pretty good time. All right, finally 17 kilometers. We finally made it to Castrojeriz, Mamma Mia.
Actually, that's Calzadilla de la Cueza, but you know, whatever.
Well, whatever the name is, I'm just super happy to be here. It's been super flat and it was started to warm up a lot. But if you notice, it's nice and overcast now, which has kept the bright sun off of us. We're probably gonna grab a Coca-Cola or a snack here because how much longer do we have left? About
6.3 kilometers.
Not that far, and we can't check into our accommodations till 2, so might as well hang out a bit. See if I can't get some more of that fried pork belly.
That's exactly what you need.
In all serious, I thought my command of the Spanish language would be better by this point. While we were having breakfast this morning, the server, we were trying to order in Spanish, and he was like, "Oh, are you English speakers?" And we were like, "Yes," and he's like, "I understand English, so it's okay. This doesn't count towards your Duolingo streak." Which is funny because I think a lot of us use those apps to try to have some sort of proficiency before we come on the way. Of course, the Spanish can pick up on it right away and just thought it was pretty funny. Well, we're certainly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning. We are leaving Ledigos after a lovely stay at our albergue last night, the name of which was La Morena. What'd you think?
Well, I'm trying to make sure we're on the path. That's what
Okay, she's all concerned about going the right direction and stuff.
La Morena is one of our favorites from last time. It's a beautiful place. They have this beautiful garden and it's super comfortable. The food is amazing and different, we've found, from anything else I've tried so far.
Yeah, so for the first course last night, I had squid with potatoes. Actually, we both had squid with potatoes.
So that was, you just don't see that on.
You may wrinkle your nose at that, and you're like, "Oh gosh, that sounds terrible."
It was delicious.
It was absolutely fantastic. And
We
I
don't
think
have a picture though, sorry.
no, the absolute icing on the cake though is the staff. Let's be honest, the staff
They
kind
are
of.
amazing. Every single one of them super friendly and helpful. Like,
These guys hustle. Like, you know, you have all of us pilgrims in there, you know, drinking wine,
Just go
beer,
that way.
ordering food. We're going this way, that way, going some way. But no, those guys are absolutely incredible, and we appreciate all their efforts.
Jed's trying to get us lost already this
I
morning.
am not. All right, guys, short day to Sahagun today, which is the halfway-ish point.
Unofficial-ish.
Unofficial-ish. It was like 16, 18 kilometers, something. It's a distance that we're walking. Let's get it. So we're only about, I'd say about 6 kilometers away from Sahagun. It's been a pretty decent walk today. It's much cooler than it was yesterday. However, you can probably hear the wind. It's whipping pretty good. My ears are cold. But it looks like the last 6 kilometers are going to be next to this beautiful historic blacktop road here, which isn't actually terrible because there's not a lot of traffic. So, I mean, it hasn't been just like near Burgos where just traffic was whipping by and tractor trailers were whipping by. But I guess we'll see you in Sahagun.
So we have made it just to the outskirts of Sahagun. There is a monument just outside of the town, and it is for the geographical center of the Camino de Santiago.
Now, is it the actual halfway point? No!
The actual halfway point is somewhere between here and there.
That's why you watch us, is for the technical information.
Yeah.
This past couple of kilometers, they have just fertilized the fields, and it's
Ooh, feels sticky.
yeah, it's not so fresh, but
Oh, it's fresh.
yeah, it is fresh, but not so fresh. Anyway, we're gonna cruise into Sahagun, just kind of relax for the rest of the afternoon. So we'll check you later. What is that? Check you later.
I don't know, that's you being...
So Sahagun is a pretty cool little town. There's lots of historical things to see. There's old churches, ruins, but specifically there's something you can do along the Camino here that's kind of special. Remember we said this is the geographical halfway point? So behind me is Monasterio La Virgen Peregrina. Don't laugh. I know you're laughing right now. Don't snicker. But if you want a halfway Compostela, you can go up here, give them your Credential. You kind of walk around the museum, and it costs €2 or €3 if I remember correctly.
Probably more by now.
Probably more by now, yeah, true. But if that's something you want, then you can get it right there. We already got one last time, so we're not going to stop by and add another piece of paper, considering we don't even have a wall to hang it on anymore.
On the next episode of Wanderful Revolution, our journey across Spain continues.
So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss a single step.
Until next time,
Stay wonderful.
Call it a day.